What's up, Thuggies? Welcome back. Today we got every Lego Indiana Jones minifigure from the old theme. With Lego Indiana Jones coming back in less than a month, I'm very excited to bring you this showcase. Check it out. Now, if you guys are unaware, Lego Indiana Jones is actually where I get my name, Thuggy Bricks, and you'll see that later in this video. Alright, Thuggies, so the first minifigure we got is Indiana Jones. This minifigure is honestly really good for its time, and it still holds up, but I'm glad we got the updated one in the new theme. He has no printing on the back. He has the nice whip and the nice satchel. Next minifigure we got is Satipo. Well, it's spelled Satipo, but it's actually Sapito. It's kind of weird. But he has the gray pants, a really nice torso, just the default head. That head was used on a lot of minifigures at that time. And then that nice hairpiece. And again, he has no printing on the back and no double-sided face. And he has this torch. Next up, we got Jock. He has that nice fishing rod. He also came in the Lost Tomb set. As you can see, he has the name tag that says Jock. That torso piece is pretty much the only piece that's exclusive. Even this head, I'm pretty sure it came from the Lego Spider-Man theme at the time. Then here's the printing on the back. It says Air Pirates because he likes to fly his plane. Next, we got Marion Ravenwood. Next to Indiana Jones himself, this is the minifigure that has the most different variants in this theme, at least for named characters. She has those nice red pants and that really nice torso detailing, just a smiling face print with the blue eyes, which is not something you really see on minifigures a lot nowadays. And she does actually have this double-sided face, where she's a lot more scared, and there's no printing on the back. Next we have Marion Ravenwood in the white dress. This is a pretty nice minifigure, although I think I like the one with the red pants a little better. She also has a different face print, which I'm not sure why they didn't just reuse the same one. But it is kind of nice to get more expressions. This one just looks a little weird in my opinion. It's the same hairpiece, no printing on the back. However, she does also have a screaming face, slightly different than the other one. Next we have Indiana Jones without his jacket. This is what he wore throughout the desert. He's pretty much the same minifigure except without his jacket. Again, he has no back printing. These are pretty old minifigures, so that's pretty uncommon. And the same head. Next, we have Masked Bandit. This minifigure uses the ninja mask from the Ninjago line at the time. Underneath the mask, you can see that nice mustache. My head is a little damaged. It's a pretty nice torso print, and this club to hit people with. And again, no back printing. Next, we have the Cairo Swordsman. I really like this minifigure, and he's from one of the most iconic scenes in Indiana Jones. If you know, you know. Here's the back printing. This minifigure actually had some. He has a really nice, mean face print, and no double-sided head. And if I'm not mistaken, this theme introduced the skin tone, which is still used to this day. Next, we got a German soldier. This one has the mustache. I actually really like these minifigures and they're really fun to army build. He has no back printing, but he does have a really nice torso print, which is used a lot throughout this theme. Next, we have another German soldier. This one's pretty much exactly the same as the last one, except with the same head as Satipo. You'll see this head appear a lot in a lot of Lego sets from this time period. And again, no back printing. Then we got the third German soldier. Again, he's exactly the same as the last two, except with a different head. This head is less common, and I'm pretty sure it only came out in one other minifigure apart from this one. And again, no back printing. All three of those guys came out in the Race for the Stolen Treasure. I have a review of that set up if you'd like to go check it out. Next, we got the enemy plane pilot. This minifigure, again, he's pretty much the same as the last three, except he has a different helmet this time, with these goggles. Still no back printing and no double-sided head. Next, we got the enemy boxer. This minifigure is really sick. He just has the dark tan legs and then that really muscular body. He has an 8-pack with that really nice head. It's a lot similar to this head. The only difference is the color of the beard. And, surprise, surprise, no back printing. Next, we got Renee Belloc. This minifigure has a really nice head print. I kind of like it. No back printing, but he also has this hat. It's a pretty simple minifigure, but it's effective, and I honestly kind of like this one more than the remake. That's all the Raiders of the Lost Ark minifigures. Now let's head into the Temple of Doom. The first minifigure for the Temple of Doom is Indiana Jones with the cut open sleeve. He's pretty much exactly the same as this Indiana Jones, except he has a different head and the sleeve is ripped off. It's nice to get more expressions for Indy, although this isn't an exclusive head. And again, no back printing, because it just reuses a lot of the similar prints. And next, we got Willie Scott. This minifigure is really good, and I think it really captures the detail from the movie. As you can see, it has that reflective silver printing, which is really nice, and that nice blonde hair. And she also has a double-sided face. It kind of resembles Marion except that it has a bigger smile. This is what you get on the back, which is actually pretty nice that they even gave it back printing. And I don't know if it's just me, but the torso kind of reminds me of Padme from the gunship. Next, we got Short Round. He's the only not exclusive Temple of Doom minifigure, although it's one of my favorites. And fun fact, the actor that played Short Round just won an Oscar, so shout out to him. No back printing, but he has that really nice face. It's really funny looking, but it really captures the character from the movie. Next, we got Mola Ram. This minifigure is arguably the most expensive of the whole collection, so I'm really glad to have it in my possession. This one actually does have back printing, so that's really cool. He has that really nice black outfit without any sleeves. And removing the helmet, you could get a better look at his face print, and he has that nice red stripe on the top of his head, which is pretty accurate to the movie. It's kind of nice because you could display him without the hat if you wanted to, because he doesn't wear it a lot in the movie. Speaking of the hat, could we just appreciate this mold? 3 different pieces. These could come out on both sides, but it's really nice. Next up, we got the Thuggy Slave Driver. This one I think is one of my favorites of the whole collection. He's such an iconic character. In my opinion, his head kind of resembles this one. Maybe they're long-lost brothers or something. This minifigure is one of the few that has a torso in that nougat color, and he also has some really nice back printing. You can see all his muscles on there. Another fun fact is, the same actor played both of these characters in the movies. His name was Pat Roach, go look it up. He has no double-sided face, but honestly he doesn't need one because this expression says everything you need to know about his character. Next up, we just got the Thuggy. I like to call him Red Thuggy. And would you look at that? That's me. This minifigure is where I got my sig fig from. He just has completely black pants and a nice dark red shirt. Back printing as well, pretty nice. This minifigure is also pretty hard to get, but somehow I have like 4 of them, so that's cool. And you can get a better look at his head. Mine is kind of chipped, but it's fine because I have 4 more, like I said. He has no double-sided head, and that's pretty much it for this minifigure. Next, we got Indiana Jones in his suit. This is what you see him in the start of the movie. It's a really nice minifigure, although it's really simple. That is a pretty nice torso detail though. In the set he does come with a hat. I just like to display him with the hair because it's more accurate to what you see in the movie. Again, no back printing, and it's the same Indiana Jones head that we've been getting since the start. And next we got the Willie Scott that you see at the start of the movie. This is also a really nice minifigure. So Willie is 2 for 2 when it comes to nice minifigures. There's a really nice reflective gold red dress with the open back. The only problem is with the open back is whenever you print the skin tone on a red torso, it almost looks closer to the Thuggy skin tone. Really nice translucent red tiara in her hair. It's just the same headpiece that we got on the last Willie Scott minifigure. Next up, we got Lao Chi. He has really simple printing, although I think it gets the job done. He just looks like he's up to no good. No back printing, of course. Then next, we got Lao Chi's goon. He's just a gangster. He's pretty much the exact same as the last minifigure, except a different head. In his head, he just looks like he's up to no good. I mean, just look at him. He's such a psycho. And again, no printing on the back. That's all the minifigures for the Temple of Doom. Now let's get into the Last Crusade. This guy's the motorcyclist. He's pretty much exactly the same as the plane pilot, except the only difference is the black helmet instead of the brown. So he still has the goggles that you could fold down. And he uses the same printing as the Germans from the first movie. And again, no back printing. Next, we got the Grail Guardian. This guy has the same head as the Masked Bandit. I noticed they reuse a lot of the same prints, but I think it's fine. He has a really nice fez piece and a really nice gray suit. I think it's definitely an upgrade from Lao Chi and his gangster. Again, no back printing. Next, we got Chasm. This minifigure is really nice, and I think the head is like perfect for what you see in the movie. He's pretty much exactly the same as the last guy, but with a different head. I'm starting to notice a trend here. And again, no back printing, but I really do like that fez piece. Next up, we got Elsa Schneider. This is a pretty weird looking minifigure in my opinion, but I guess it's somewhat accurate to the scene. She just has the gray legs, the white shirt, and she actually does have back printing, as you can see. Removing the hair, this is the head, and then she does have a double-sided face, which is pretty much identical to the other 2 Screaming Girls in the Indiana Jones franchise. Next, we got another Indiana Jones variant. This time he's in a gray suit with the brown hat. It looks really good. Mine is pretty cracked on the back. I might need to order a new one eventually, but it's just for display, so I don't really care too much. Next, we have Henry Jones Sr. That face. Tell me that doesn't look like Sean Connery. I think they really captured it. He has the dark gray hat and a really nice torso, and I love the new version because it pretty much looks exactly the same as this one, except if it was made today. As you can see, he has the Grail diary in his pocket, which is a detail I just noticed right now after having this minifigure for years. No back printing, which would have been nice, but it's fine. That's all the minifigures for The Last Crusade. Now let's get into the fourth and final movie, but not for long. First, we got Mutt Williams. A lot of people didn't like this character. A lot of people didn't really like this movie, but I disagree. I thought it was pretty fun to watch. There's no back printing. I don't know what is up with his groin piece right there. And then he has no double-sided head. I honestly really do like that head. I'm not too sure if it captures the character too well, but I think it's fine. Then we got another version of Marion Ravenwood. This time she's in her Crystal Skull attire. She has dark brown pants, a tan shirt, no back printing, and it's still the same head that we've been seeing since Raiders. This minifigure, his name is just Pilot, and it's because he comes in a plain set. He's a pretty simple minifigure. This was actually the last one I got before I completed the collection because I didn't even know he existed. Here's the back. He has no printing on it. And this minifigure is surprisingly somewhat hard to find a good deal on. And he has the same head that we've been seeing on the Germans and Satipo and all those guys. I don't even want to pronounce this guy's name, so I'm just going to call him Russian Officer. This guy's pretty much the jerkiest jerk I've ever seen. But he was in the movie too, so I'm glad they portrayed him like that. He has no back printing, but I do think that this hat in that color is pretty nice to get. Here's a better look at his head. Next, we got Irina Spalko. This minifigure is also kind of a jerk, but it's not as bad as that last guy. She's the main villain in the Crystal Skull. There's no printing on the back, and she doesn't have a double head. And she uses the Nia hair from Ninjago, which honestly is a perfect fit for this character if you've seen the movie. Next, we got our first Russian soldier. This one has a backpack, and he has the same head as Belloc. As much as I love this theme, I will admit they are getting a little lazy with the heads. Next, we have our next Russian soldier, and he just has the same head as the Germans, which I guess is fair because he's just a soldier. No back printing, it's still a pretty nice minifigure. Next, we got the Uga Warrior with the long hair. This minifigure is also pretty nice. He's in a weird color, which I'm surprised he didn't use the Thuggy skin tone, but I'm kind of glad they didn't because this is more accurate. Again, no back printing, but he does have that weird print on the back of his head. And our next minifigure is exactly the same as the last one, except without the hair. So I guess that's why they put that printing on the back of his head. Next, we got the Grave Robber. There actually is two, technically, versions of this guy, although it's just the head turned around. This guy, he just looks like a homeless guy whenever his head's turned around, so I just like to have the skull mask over him. Something I did notice is that this guy and this guy have the same head. If you look closely, it's also the Thuggy, except without all the mask on. So that's kind of weird. Next, we got a skeleton. Nothing really to say about this guy. He's just a skeleton. And finally, we got the Crystal Skull. This guy's literally just a skeleton, but with the Crystal Skull as a head. Alright, Thuggies, so that concludes today's collection. I'm very excited to get the new minifigures to add to this collection. One minifigure I would have loved to see from this line in particular is a Sala minifigure. I know we're getting one in the new line, but Sala is just such an iconic character. I actually did get this Sala minifigure from Fantasy Bricks on Instagram, which I think looks really nice. Definitely go check out Fantasy Bricks. And as always, subscribe.